From the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex, this is Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenault, and before we get started, if you haven't done so yet, please get down there in the corner, if you would please, and hit that like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it very much. Thank you. Well, let's see. Summer is not officially here for another week yet. But you wouldn't know it by the weather we're having outside right now. It is hot, it is windy, it is dry, and it looks like it's going to be this way for a while. Next couple of weeks, anyway. So, hey, not much we can do. Just make the best of it. Stay hydrated. Watch out for heat stroke, sunscreen, all 9 yards. Just be careful. This is dangerous weather we're getting into. So, anyway, there we go. Let's get started. Time Out Overtime is sponsored in part by Frank Beck Chevrolet at M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. If it's time for a new to you vehicle, let the sales professionals at Beck's help you choose the right vehicle. New or pre-owned, Beck's has the top selection in the tri-state area. Pardon me, with over 200 vehicles in with over 200 vehicles in stock. Stop by and see for yourself. And when you're ready, ask for Russ McMorty, Chris Hodis, Danny Speed, Adam Schaefer, Blake Bryant, Cameron Mincio, the one and only Bob Flynn, or their newest sales professional, Peyton Lucas. And when it comes time to service that new to you vehicle, the service pros at Beck's can fix it. Any make, any model, Ford or domestic, Beck's can fix it. And if you have a bit of a crunch or fender bender, Beck's Body Shop can put it back together looking just as good as new. Pardon me. What? For all your automotive needs, look no further than Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville, 517-849-2886, or on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Come and experience the Frank Beck difference. Beck Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. I've only got 15 minutes or so tonight because while we will be doing a show Saturday morning, or you will hear a show Saturday morning with Andy on WCSR, we will not be live. We're taping it tonight. There's nothing secretive about that. So I know I really have a lot of time here. Tigers won today. They salvaged the third and final game of the series against the Nationals. Casey Mize, I think, was okay, better than his last few starts. Justin Henry Malloy, home run to double. I think he had 3 RBI. He had a good day. It was a 2-2 game. Tigers scored 5 runs in the 7th. And the bullpen, which hasn't been all that good lately, did close it out today. So they will now begin a 6-game road trip, 3 in Houston and 3 in Atlanta. Turek Skubal is pitching tomorrow night. Initially, we thought that he might get matched up Saturday afternoon against Justin Verlander, but they're starting him tomorrow night, and they're pitching Jack Flaherty, unfortunately, on Saturday. Well, that matchup's not going to happen. We were hoping it would, but I think I told you the last time out we were looking forward to that. So that's about all I want to say about the Tigers. Get you caught up, Bob, on what's going on at Toledo. Jace Young has been doing very well there. Right now, he's got 11 home runs, 40 RBI, and OPS of 932. As I said before, he's been the most consistent hitter down there. So when are you supposed to be bringing him up? I don't think it'll be until after the All-Star game, but Jace Young, he's been the offense for the Mudheads so far. And this too, every 4th of July at ESPN, they've got the hot dog eating contest sponsored by Nathan's. And of course, it included Kobayashi up until a few years ago. He dropped out due to health reasons. Joey Chestnut has been the perennial winner the last few years. Well, Chestnut will not be involved in the 4th of July Nathan's hot dog eating contest this year because he has signed an endorsement with a company by the name of Impossible Foods, which is introducing a new plant-based hot dog. So Nathan says, "Well, nothing doing now. You're with them. You're not with us." But it's getting interesting. On Labor Day, and I don't know exactly what. Of course, that's always the first Monday in September. On Netflix, if you get Netflix, big day is Labor Day this year. That's when Joey Chestnut will go one-on-one against Kobayashi in a hot dog eating contest. Must-see TV, huh? So if you have Netflix, don't miss that. It sounds, I can't wait, huh? Joey Chestnut versus Kobayashi. By the way, the Olympics coming up in a few weeks. You think competitive eating should be an Olympic event? Food for thought. I mean, I hate to, wasn't meant as a pun, but imagine that competitive eating as an Olympic event. Anyway, there used to be too. There also reminds me, I don't have time for this, but of course, you know what the food channel is, and they've also got the cooking channel. I don't get the cooking channel anymore, but there used to be a show on there called Man versus Food. Some guy would walk into a restaurant and they'd put a bunch of ungodly amount of food down in front of him, and he had so much time to eat every bit of it. And while people stood around and cheered him on, Man versus Food. That was the name of the show. I don't know if that's still going or not, but and if he ate all the food in front of him in like a half an hour or so, they gave him a T-shirt from that restaurant or something. Anyway, I watched it because I always I thought it to be humorous. I'm just wondering if it's still on or not. If any of you out there still have the cooking channel, will you let me know one way or another if Man versus Food is still on there yet? If it is, it might be in reruns. I don't know if they're currently still producing it or not. But I didn't mean to get sidetracked there. But the soap opera continues in New York. Jets today was the last day of the New York Jets mandatory minicamp. Aaron Rodgers was a no-show. He didn't show up at all. He was not there. Robert Saleh said that it was an inexcused absence, although he did say that he knew Rodgers was going to be gone. In the words of Saleh, he was attending something that in his mind he thought was more important. We don't know what it is or where he is or what he's been doing. Could be another darkness retreat, another system cleansing retreat. I'm not going to explicitly tell you what that is because it's too close to dinner time. But so the saga continues. Remember, Rodgers last year in Green Bay did the same thing. He blew off the minicamp, and he had a couple of young receivers that he should have been bonding with. Christian Watson was one of them. And it wasn't until second half of that season that they actually finally started to connect. But there's nothing new to Rodgers. Folks, this guy is different. Obviously, he marches to the beat of a different drummer. Oh, I don't know what makes the guy tick. But anyway, is it the first Monday night game of the season? We've got the Jets at San Francisco. I'll be rooting for the Jets that night. I don't know about you. The U.S. Open, the 124th U.S. Open, is underway at Pinehurst. Scotty Scheffler, obviously, is the betting favorite to win. I wish I had something to report on that for you. I do not currently. Tiger Woods got off to a good start. But last I knew, he was quite a few strokes behind right now. So he was one of the earlier starters this morning. I think he teed off about 7:30. The U.S. Open at Pinehurst. Scotty Scheffler, like I said, is the betting favorite to win if he were to win today. This would be his sixth tournament championship, and we're only into mid-June right now for the year. Obviously, right now he's the world's greatest golfer. Then too, I've got a few things after I get another promo out of the way here. I want to say a few things about Jerry West, who sadly passed away yesterday at the age of 86. What else have we got here? Colt Keith is struggling. Tigers Colt Keith. He's got 2 hits in the month of June, and he's struggling every bit as Spencer Torkelson did. Should he be sent down to Toledo? I don't know what possessed the Tigers to give him a lucrative long-term contract before he even played a day in the major leagues. But it's been a struggle for him. He should be playing at Toledo right now. He has got no business being in the major leagues. But that's part of the problem on this Tiger team. I know I got a little off the track talking about the Tigers here, but if you look at a Tiger ball club, I don't have a lot of time to dissect what I'm thinking or say everything I want to say, but you've got Tarek Skubal, Cy Young MVP candidate. Then you've got Jack Flaherty, who has resurrected his career, although now he has a back issue. He'll be pitching Saturday. I think he took a cortisone shot in the back, of what I'm hearing. That might devalue him at the trade deadline, too, especially since he is a free agent who, whenever make a trade to get him, would be getting a rental guy. A rental guy with a bad back, you're not going to get a whole lot for him. And right now, as we speak, I think the Tigers are 3 or 3.5 games out of that last wild card spot. Problem there, too, is there are at least a half a dozen teams involved in that scramble for the third wild card. It's hard enough just trying to passing 1 or 2 teams. But now when you got 4 or 5 in front of you or right around you, it's even more difficult. NBA, if you haven't heard, the Celtics went 3-0 up on the Mavericks last night with a 106-99 win. I think the Mavericks got like 20 or 21 points behind, came all the way back to get within a point. Luka fouled out, and Celtics won, so they are right now, unless the Mavericks can win the next 4 games, and that's not going to happen. The Celtics will win their 18th NBA championship, which will be more than any other franchise. The Edmonton Oilers in the Canadian Rockies tonight are playing the Florida Panthers. Panthers are up 2-0. So the Oilers will be trying to avoid what happened to the Mavericks last night. They don't want to get down 3-0. So I think if the Oilers can win tonight, if they can hold serve and win these next 2 games at home, I think that series could still go 7 games yet. Tonight, obviously, is the most relevant game in that series. Oilers win, they're right back in it. If they lose, it's pretty much over. So, okay, I got a couple more things to say. I want to put in a good word first for Tim Lindley at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale. Good man, knowledgeable man when it comes to tech services. He and his assistant, Zach, at 37 Waldron Street in downtown Hillsdale. That's a couple 100 feet west of Howell Street. Any tech issue you have at all, be it a computer, new or used, or maybe perhaps the computer you have now needs a little tweaking or work done on it, get it in there and someone will take care of it for you. Maybe you are thinking of or just bought or will be buying a large flat screen smart TV. You need it mounted on the wall. You need it programmed. Give him a call. He'll take care of that for you. Anything at all. Maybe you're changing internet providers and you need that set up. He's the guy you want to contact for that. anything, like I said, printers, new or used, anything at all. You name it, they'll take care of it for you. Like I said, they're at 37 Waldron Street in downtown Hillsdale. 517-610-5372. Or better still, get in there and see him. And when you do, tell him Rick sent you, would you please? And if I don't take a swig of water here, I'm not going to be able to finish this. Hang on just a second. We got to stay hydrated in this weather, especially. Jerry West. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention this too. Now that Danny Hurley has said no to the Lakers and decided to stay at UConn, apparently J.J. Redick is going to be interviewing with the Lakers. I think they actually had their sights set on him before they decided to try to get Hurley to come to LA. But it looks like J.J. Redick will be interviewing for the Laker job. I don't know exactly when that's supposed to take place, but a couple of things I want to say about the Lions too. If you saw the picture, I think it was in the Free Press this morning. Nice to see Jared Goff has already developed a great bond with Terrion Arnold. Picture in the paper this morning, he had his arm around Arnold. Looks like they're already good friends. Glad to see that. I have no doubt within the next year or two, even though he's a rookie, I think Arnold will eventually, like I said, within the next year or two, maybe even next year, be one of the team captains. He's that highly thought of. Something Dan Campbell said when he was asked yesterday in the final day of the OTAs. He was asked about players out there playing in the final year of their contract, how he feels about that, or if that's extra incentive for that player. And I thought he gave a great answer. You know, how do you feel about players playing in the final year of the contract? You think you're going to get more out of them? And he immediately said, gee, I sure hope not. I hope that's not the case here. If it is, we don't want guys like that around here. If you got to be in the final year of your contract in order to motivate you to give your all and 100%, he said, I don't think we want guys like that here. Great answer. And I don't think the Lions do have anybody on that team right now. These are all great character guys. They love playing for their coach. They love their owner. So, yeah, I saw that comment that Campbell had, and I don't know who the reporter was that asked him about that, but I thought, gee, what a great answer that is for that. Jerry West, NBA Hall of Famer, passed away yesterday at the age of 86. That announcement was made, I guess, by the LA Clippers. The Lakers moved in the last game in Minneapolis, and that's why they're called the Lakers, because Minneapolis, Minnesota is the land of 1,000 lakes. Their last game in Minneapolis was in March of 1960. And at that time, the Lakers owner could already see the success that the Dodgers had moving from Brooklyn to LA, and the Giants had from moving to New York to San Francisco. And apparently the attendance was lagging in Minneapolis. And that's when he made the choice. He was going to move the team to LA. That was in 1960. Like I said, their last game was in Minneapolis, was in March of 1960. It was just a few months later that they drafted a kid out of the University of West Virginia, a fellow by the name of Jerry West. And little did anybody know at the time that he would go on to become an NBA legend, so much so that in 1969, he became the NBA logo. The silhouette guy driven a basketball, that was Jerry West. Although the NBA did not officially admit that until yesterday. But I want to share something here that Chandell Richardson, an NBA writer, wrote, and I've read a lot of these stories the last 24 hours, but I thought this was the most poignant, if you will, and I'll share it with you now. The NBA has its share of nicknames. There was Air for Michael Jordan because he floated, the Doctor for Julius Erving because he made house calls, the Mailman for Karl Malone because he always delivered, and then there was Mr. Clutch for Jerry West because he was actually that clutch. The NBA world mourned the death of West yesterday. He was 86. West was a basketball genius and a defining figure in our league for more than 60 years. League Commissioner Adam Silver said in a statement, pardon me, he distinguished himself not only as an NBA champion and an all-star in all 14 of his playing seasons, but also as a consummate competitor who embraced the biggest moments. He was the league's first finals MVP and made rising to the occasion his signature quality, earning him the nickname Mr. Clutch. West lived every bit up to the nickname during his Hall of Fame career. No shot was bigger than the one he made at the buzzer to force overtime against the New York Knicks in Game 3 of the 1970 NBA Finals. The shot was from 60 feet. You can go to YouTube and get that up if you want to see it. Of course, at that time, there were no three-pointers. The shot tied the game at 102, but would have won it if it would have been made in today's game. It only counted 2 points because, like I said, there were no three-pointers back then. The Knicks won in overtime on their way to winning their last NBA championship, and that was a little bit surprising to me. The Knicks had not won an NBA championship in 54 years. That's hard to fathom. I didn't think it was been that long of a drought for them. Oh. Anyway, but West's shot was arguably the best moment of that series, which included Knicks center Willis Reed courageously returning from an injury to play in Game 7. As I said, there has been a lot written about Jerry West in the last 24 hours, but that was, to me, was the most touching or poignant. And he will be missed. But anyway, we now know that, as I said, in 1969, they came out with that logo. Everybody said that looks like Jerry West. But nobody ever really officially confirmed that until yesterday. West was a very modest guy, and in one of his last interviews, someone once asked him how he wanted to be remembered, and I was a good guy and I cared. That's all he said. Gone at the age of 86, NBA legend Jerry West. Rest in peace, Jerry. Thanks for all the memories. That's going to do it for us here. I think we're done. As I said, we're taping Saturday's show tonight, but we will be on the air Saturday morning from 9 to 10 here locally on WCSR 92.1 FM, and I will talk to you again Saturday. Until then, stay hydrated, treat each other with respect.